Hey everybody, it's Emily from ARG Schooling, and I have a very, very big book haul to show you today. So I have been buying books, obviously. I've been buying books all month, and I just have this big pile here to show you, and so I'm just gonna get right in it. These first two books I'm going to show you I bought specifically for grade 10, which I am currently writing for Build Your Library. And the first of those is Janice Van Cleve's A+ Projects in Biology. I don't know, I kept flipping through the one I bought. It was a different book for labs, and I just kept thinking how much I preferred the layout in this for grade 9. I just really liked it. I liked the setup, I like how open-ended they were, and so I went ahead and just bought this one for biology, and I hope I'll like it just as much. And then the other book is I Contain Multitudes by Ed Yong. This was recommended by several people as a book that I should check out for the science in grade 10, which will be biology, obviously. So, yeah, can I just say how beautiful the cover is? Like, isn't that just really just beautiful? And I don't know. That alone was like, yes. But the book itself has full color illustrations in it, and it looks beautiful. I'm excited to read this. It's all about microbes. Next up is our choice for the Read Like a Mom book club in November, and that is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I have never read this. I've seen it recommended all over the place as a book that I probably would like and should read. So I decided that this was a good time to pick it up. And I know Becky from the Reading Mom wanted to read it too, so we decided, or she wanted to reread it. I think she's already read it. I'm just the one who hasn't read it yet. So we decided that this would be a good pick for November. So if you want to get involved in the Read Like a Mom book club, it's super easy and very low-key. We just read a book over the course of the month, and there is a Goodreads group, which I will link to below, and you can just jump in and join in the conversation whenever you're comfortable, whenever you're ready. If you wait till the end of the month to chat, that's awesome and fine. If you want to talk as you read, you can do that too. So I hope you pick it up. Next up, I pre-ordered this book ages ago, and I've been just anxiously waiting for it, and that is Blood for Blood by Ryan Groudon, and I am so pumped to read this book, you guys. I'm so excited. I loved Wolf by Wolf. It was one of my favorite books I read this year, and I've just been crazy excited to read the second book because I believe this is the final book in the series. I think it's just a duology, although there is a in-between novella if you want to read that, which I didn't like as much. That's Iron for Iron, I think was the title, and I believe you can only get it as an ebook, but that one takes place, it's sort of a prequel. But anyway, this book is I'm so excited. So this is, if you didn't know, Wolf by Wolf was about a girl named Yael who lives in a alternate history time period in the 1950s in which the Axis powers won World War II, and Hitler reigns supreme over all of Europe, and Japan also reigns supreme over all of Asia, and it's just a whole different kind of world. And Yael is a Jewish girl who is in hiding, and she works for the resistance, and her mission is to enter this motorcycle race, which is a huge event every year to celebrate their winning of the war. And the winner gets to meet Hitler, and her mission is to win the race and kill Hitler. And it's just such an amazing book, and I can't wait to read this. Cannot wait. Then I've already showed this book before, I think, but I'm just gonna quick go through it again because it's awesome. Dracula vs. Hitler by Patrick Shane Duncan. What more can I possibly say about this book? I haven't read it yet. I'm really looking forward to getting to it. I don't know when that'll be, but this is basically what if Van Helsing resurrects Dracula to take out Hitler during World War II. It doesn't get much cooler than that. I mean, seriously, that is the best premise for a book I've ever heard. So I am really excited to get to this. Okay, and these next two books I picked up solely because I saw Raylene from Pad, Foot, and Prongs mention both of them, and then I kept hearing other people mention one of them, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna get those. So the first one is Bird Box by Josh Malerman. I've heard this book mentioned all over BookTube lately, and I'm like, why have I not bought this yet? So I bought it. I haven't read it, obviously, but I'm going to very soon, I hope, because it sounds really cool. Basically, the idea in this book is there's this thing outside that if you look at it, you go crazy. So no one can look around. You have to like hide your eyes while you're outside because you will lose your mind and kill yourself. So like that is like a crazy premise for a book, and I'm really intrigued. And then I picked up 172 Hours on the Moon by Johan Harstad, and this just sounded really weird and creepy. Basically, these kids win a trip to the moon, and chaos ensues, and things happen. I don't really know that much about it, but it's supposed to be really creepy and scary, and I've just been really in the mood for horror lately, and I haven't read anything really, really scary for a long time, so I'm hoping something will freak me out a little bit. I don't know, but this sounded intriguing. So the whole rest of this book haul is this ginormous box of books that I picked up during the, what did they call it? Booktober? I don't know. I don't remember now. But Book Outlet was having a sale. I want to say Booktober Fest or something like that. I cannot remember. I'm tired. But anyway, they were having a big sale, so I had to partake, and I bought way too many books. But it was cheap. It was cheap, so don't judge me. So let's just look through here and unbox this baby and see what I got. Okay, I don't have a good place to set my box, so hopefully I don't knock this over. Okay, so first up, I've talked about Unwind on my channel before and how it was really creepy and disturbing. So I finally picked up the second book in that series, and this is Unholy. I don't know, I'm a little nervous to read it, honestly, because I did really find the first book to be very, very, like, disturbing. It wasn't really scary so much as just disturbing. So, I don't know, but I really liked the writing style, and I really was intrigued, so I'm going to go ahead and give the second book a go and see what I think. I also picked up Horns by Joe Hill, which I've already read, and I loved it, but I borrowed it from my library, and it occurred to me the other day that really the only book by Joe Hill that I own is The Fireman, which I got signed at a book signing by him, and it was awesome, but I'm like, I should own all of his books because I've read them and I liked them. So now I own Horns. And this book, if you're not aware, is very weird, actually. Basically, this guy, Ig, who is our main character, he wakes up one morning and he'd blacked out the night before. He wakes up and he has horns. He can't really explain why he has horns or how they got there, but these horns give him the ability to, like, make people say terribly horrible, truthful things to him, and he can kind of influence them into doing things. So that's disturbing, but underneath all of that weirdness is this murder mystery where his girlfriend was killed, and he's gotten the blame for it, even though they can't prove that he did it. Everyone assumes he did, and he is trying to figure out what actually happened to her. And it's just a really disturbing, twisted, very weird story. This is the first book I read by Joe Hill, and I was just like, I have to read more. This is ridiculously amazing. I must know more. Next up, I got this mostly for my daughter, and this is The Kiss of Deception, the first book in the Remnant Chronicles by Mary E. Pearson. I've heard good things about it, but I think it might be a little bit too YA for me. I don't mind YA. I read quite a bit of it, actually. I mean, the Unwind series is YA, and Wolf by Wolf and Blood for Blood are both YA, but some of it is just a little bit too much in the Twilight genre for me. But I don't know. I might try this out, too. It does sound interesting. It's fantasy. Could be good, but I think my daughter's gonna like this. I picked up Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer. I've heard a lot of stuff about this series, and I've just been really intrigued, and I really want to read it. So it's really short, too. The first book is only like maybe 200 pages, if that. I don't really know very much about it. It's like sci-fi horror, sort of, I think, and it sounds intriguing. So I have finally replaced my very sad copy of Jane Eyre. I love Jane Eyre. It's one of my favorite books, but the copy I have, I believe I purchased when I was in high school, and it's falling apart, and I've been meaning to get a new copy, and when I saw Book Outlet had this one for very cheap, I was like, well, there you go, new copy. I also picked up Dust in Shadow, an account of the Ripper killings, and this is a Lindsay Fay novel. I read Jane Steele this past month, and I really loved it, and I had never read anything by Lindsay Fay before, so I was excited to come across a book that she had written on Book Outlet for really cheap. And this is like a Sherlock Holmes retelling, I believe, and it sounds really interesting. It kind of combined Sherlock Holmes with more like a Jack the Ripper theme. I don't know. It just sounded good, and I thought, why not? I picked up I Killed the Mockingbird by Paul Akampora, and this book had a really interesting premise. Let me see. Yeah, let me just read you the premise, because that's why it hooked me. It said, our goal, to make people excited about reading To Kill a Mockingbird. Our somewhat questionable methods to make the book disappear, because wanting what you can't have is the American way, right? What happens, depending on who you ask. A ukulele concert, a cure for cancer, flying caskets, Santa Claus with an axe, big league home runs, a million conspiracy theories, and a nationwide epidemic of vanishing novels. We really meant for the whole thing to stay small, or smallish, or at least manageable. The World Wide Web had different ideas, but we regret nothing. Because we did it for Fat Bob, our favorite teacher, who went ahead and died before he could see what little bit of inspiration can do. We did it for each other because sharing a crazy summer is what best friends are for. We did it for the love of books. We just didn't expect it to get so big. Turns out, love and books and a bus pass and the internet are a volatile combination. Doesn't that sound really intriguing? I don't know. I really want to read this. I love books about books, and about people who love to read, and about other books that I happen to love, and To Kill a Mockingbird is one of my favorite books, so the whole thing sounds wonderful. So I'm very excited about this one. I have had this book in my Book Outlet shopping cart for like 6 months, and I kept debating over whether I really wanted it or not, because it's a huge book, and it's kind of intimidating. Intimidating is a very good word for this book. This is seriously a monster. And so I kept saying, no, you don't need it. But then sale, and I got it. So I picked it up, and that is Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clarke. Do you see how big this book is? Like, this is like biblical proportions, people. This is over 1,000 pages. It's ridiculous. But I keep hearing about people saying this is like their favorite book. And it just sounds like something I would like. It's like fantasy mixed with like Victorian England, and I just, I don't know. It sounds really good. I'm just scared of it because it's so big. This is going to take me forever to read, but I don't care. I got it. It's going to happen at some point. I have 3 more books, I think. Yeah, 3 more books to show you. Next, I have Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. This is another book that I've never read that people say is like a favorite. So I thought I should get that and check it out. So I'm going to squeeze this in at some point. I believe it's fantasy mixed with maybe like apocalyptic, dystopian maybe. I don't really know. I just know people love this book, and I know that it sounds like something I would like. I also picked up Every Heart a Doorway by Shannon McGuire. I don't know how you say that name. I loved the idea that this is a book about children, like a wayward house for children who have been to fantasy worlds. That right there, just like, I need to read that. It sounds so interesting and intriguing, and I really want to know more. So that is why I bought this, and it's short. It's a really short book. And, honestly, when you're a tired mom who is very busy, short books are awesome because you can actually finish them relatively quickly, and it just feels good to be able to finish a book. And then finally, I picked up Dead Ringers, a novel by Christopher Golden, and this was just a random, like, I don't know anything about it, but the premise sounded a little bit interesting, so I thought, hey, it's only like $3, so go ahead. Indulge. This is a horror novel, and I really don't know much about it. Besides, I kind of liked the cover. It says, when Tess Devlin runs into her ex-husband, Nick, on a Boston sidewalk, Boston, she's furious at him for pretending he doesn't know her. She calls his cell to have it out with him, only to discover that he's in New Hampshire with his current girlfriend. But if Nick's in New Hampshire, who did she encounter on the street? What? So, yeah, interesting. So I don't really know much more than that, but I'm intrigued. So maybe at some point I'll get to this. Okay, so that was a lot of books. I did not intend to purchase this many books this month, but yeah, I'm going to try to tone it down a little because, you know, Christmas is right around the corner. Maybe I'll get some books for Christmas that I won't actually have to buy myself. I don't know. We'll see. So, did you buy any books in the month of October? What'd you get? I'd love to hear about it because then you'll make me feel better about all the books that I bought. So, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Thanks for watching. Happy reading. Bye. Does anyone else just like really hate this in a paperback? Like what is its purpose? It just gets in my way and I don't like it. Again, with the flaps in a paperback, why? Why? What is its purpose? It's not even useful as a bookmark because it bends the book. I don't like it. I don't like it.